women are really pushing the proverbial glass ceiling, pushing the envelope, and just breaking barriers. I think reclaiming our power today. We are so honored to bring to you what we're calling Queen Supreme. All the reigning queens in the British Virgin Islands. Of course, you can go ahead and introduce them, Kyla.
So we have Miss BVI, the beautiful Bria Smith. We have Miss World, Rikia Brathwaite, and we have Mrs. BVI, Chandria Turnbull. Guys, we have all of them here today in studio with us. But before we get right into it, we'll like to go to a quick commercial break.
Just a quick one. We're coming right back.
Is business slow? Cash flow down? Hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? Contact our marketing team at 284media at cctbvi.com. Advertising with us works.
When you need to stay connected with friends and families at home or abroad, the best choice for you is Freedom. CCT Freedom. With the lowest rates in the market, our Freedom plan gives you unlimited calls and texting. Plus, our Freedom One package includes 10 gigabits of super fast unlimited LTE data and unlimited calls to the BVI, USA, USVI, Canada, Puerto Rico, and UK lines. Why pay for overages when you can enjoy CCT Freedom? Stop by at one of our stores today and speak with one of our representatives to find out more about our CCT Freedom packages. So as promised, viewers, we have for you in studio the royalties, the reigning queens of the British Virgin Islands. We have Mrs. Universe, Miss Bria Smith. We have Mrs. World BVI, Rikia Brathwaite, and we're also hosting Mrs. Glow BVI, Mrs. British Virgin Islands, Chandra Turnbull. For the very first time in the BVI, all together, breaking history right here at 284 Media. Ladies, welcome to 284 Media.
Thank you.
Awesome. So you're back.
We're back.
The hard work is beyond you.
Did you hear the sigh?
Listen.
Hear the sigh.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. So you're back, and a lot of the hard work is behind. Of course, I'm sure you intend to move forward with your various platforms, but the bulk of it is behind you. What does that sigh of relief feel like right now?
Can we physically show you?
Let's go all together. Ready? 2, 3, 2.
I feel that. I feel it.
It's true.
Yeah. So you guys are all home now. You are all in different parts of the world. Crazily enough, you were in Atlanta, you were in London, and you were in Shanghai, China. Shenzhen, China. So many. Yes. So how does it feel to be home, back in the BVI?
I'm very happy to be home, especially for food. The food I miss the most.
Did you at all feel deprived of the food while you were away? Like, oh, I cannot eat. Hold on.
I've never felt the need to diet. I'm so for being myself and whatever.
She's blessed and she's snatched.
Her metabolism is still working.
Right.
So far.
Working against time.
Yes, but I was very happy to come home to eat food mostly. I miss the food. I miss my family the most. So I was just very happy to see all of them at the dock that was there. So I'm very grateful for them.
All right, we're just going to pass the mic around a little bit. So Chandra, you were in China. I know that's a completely different culture from the British Virgin Islands.
Completely different.
What was like your biggest, culture shock?
The biggest culture shock, I would say, the hotel that we stayed in was absolutely beautiful. So Shenzhen is a new city, and the city is known for shopping. But our 12, 14-hour days did not allow any of that. So it was beautiful, and it was just tempting to want to go around, but couldn't participate in everything. But what I noticed when we went out in the streets, not only with food, but unfortunately, there was a lot of smoke. a lot of smokers there, and of course we know in the beautiful BVI, it's pretty much no smoking allowed. You see the instructions at the immigration, so that was the biggest difference for me, and part of the reason I probably have a little raspy voice and have a little
All that
cold
secondhand
now,
smoke.
all the secondhand smoke, and being out in the weather. So it is cooler than the BVI. I miss coming back to the beaches and just
Two things to appreciate there. First of all, discipline. Okay, ladies, we don't always have to shop. And secondly, you just really get a bigger appreciation for where you live. Like you said, we live in a non-smoking zone. Even if you do, there is always an area for you to do so without,
Definitely.
affecting the other person.
Bria, so Miss Universe was actually at the Tyler Perry Studios, this new studios. Tell us all about it. I want to hear all about it.
Well, surprisingly, we only got probably 2 days at the studio.
Okay.
So what we actually did was they created one of the conference rooms and kind of taped the floor to mirror what the stage would actually look like.
Oh, wow.
Because we didn't get to get into the actual studio and the stage until like the day after or the day of our preliminary.
Wow.
So that was only like 2 days before the actual event. But the studio is beautiful.
Ah!
It's beautiful, and it really feels good to when you're driving through the studios and you see the names of all these prominent
could
black
just imagine.
actors and entertainers. Oh my God, you just feel so proud. You
Yeah.
feel proud.
I
You
could
drive
imagine.
across, and we were in the Oprah Winfrey one.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
It really was inspiring.
Did you see my guy, Tyler Perry?
I didn't, but I sure saw Steve Harvey, and
Girl, that's a
give
win.
a hug.
That's a win.
I saw one.
All right, so your platform, Bria, I'll start with you. I know you've always embodied culture from the beginning of your pageant. That was your platform. And of course, you exemplify that so beautifully on the international stage. Just tell us how persons in Atlanta, not just the contestants, but the rest of the Atlanta body, how did they receive your dose of BVI culture?
Well, because things were so packed for this year's competition, we really didn't have any time to really get to be around the girls often. We always were divided in 3 or 4 different buses and taken to different locations. So we didn't really spend much time with the girls except for like during breakfast and lunch. But I think they really got the dose of the BVI culture during our cultural presentation. That's when we really got a dose of our culture, and people saw the costumes like, oh my God, what is this about?
Right.
And we were able to kind of talk about it. But other than that, we didn't really have time to really sit down and talk about our cultural or historical backgrounds from where we're from. We mostly spoke about the issues of race often.
That's a big topic, very
We
topical.
spoke about the issues of race back at home, and our issues with probably the pageant world in our different regions, and how some persons are affected differently, or some people receive things and some others don't based on where you're from. But I guess that's all part of culture as well.
Yes.
But not in the respects that I was really going in to talk about our cultural historical
But you are
preservation.
too a walking embodiment of BVI pride. So I'm
am.
sure your
You are.
accent, everybody was trying to figure out, who is this?
Oh,
girl?
yeah.
Who is this
Oh
stunning
yeah,
girl?
because when we was around because a lot of the Caribbean girls got together immediately.
Of course. You know how Caribbean
Immediately.
people
Naturally.
just
Like a
gravitate
magnet.
to each other. Yeah.
We naturally gravitated to each other. So St. Lucia and I especially, we really gravitated really well, and that's my love right now. We're in contact every day. And what we did was we often spoke in our accent very strongly.
Yes.
So oftentimes I think Netherlands was like, what does that mean? What are you guys saying? And like we caught attention when we were speaking in our accents, and some persons wanted to know what we were saying. So
Right. Rakia, your Beauty with a Purpose platform. So I heard a little bit of your interview while you were there, and your platform is basically a scholarship for students of the arts. Tell us a little bit about
So it's
that.
raising the awareness for the performing arts in the Virgin Islands. I just actually came from the government talking about they're trying to break down the Briarcliff Hall, and they're trying to create a performance. So I'm so happy
Yes,
about that.
yes,
because
yes.
that
Kudos.
was my whole childhood. I found myself in the performing arts, and I just want that for people here that also want to pursue the performing arts as a viable career.
And also too, Bria, you did performing arts. You were part of the club in high school, I remember. So this is probably something that's close to your heart as well. How important it is.
Close to a lot of our hearts. It's so important.
Yeah, I think it's so important for young people. I think we don't realize that this is an option. So much of us have that creativity and that creative side to us.
I just don't want it to die in us. I want us to just see that it can come to fruition. Also, it can help tourism. Because we were talking about it today. We were just like, okay, well, if tourists come, they have something that they can see. We can also implement culture. We can create a play around our culture so they can go and see a play that teaches them as well. And that gives us opportunities to explore our arts at the same time. So that's what I'm trying to work with my Beauty with a Purpose.
And additionally, we are at a juncture where, finance and tourism, we can no longer just depend on those. We're looking to diversify.
No, a country, we have to focus on all aspects, and the social aspect is also very important.
Chandra,
Yes,
let's get back to
ma'am.
you, girl.
Yes,
So, you did outstandingly well, by the way. I don't know.
Thank
Can we give
you.
Chandra a hand, please?
All the ladies did.
Oh my goodness.
All did.
Yes, of course. Well, let's give Chandra a little extra right now. But Chandra, exceedingly well.
Thank you.
Sixth in the world.
Yes.
Fifth Voters' Choice.
Yes.
Woman of Excellence Award.
Yes.
Does that give you chills?
It's
wow.
funny because the night after, I woke up in the middle of the night and I was like, oh my gosh, this was all a dream. It wasn't real. I was like, oh no, wait, it was real. Like literally, I woke up and I thought it was all a dream. It was amazing experience. Like we were talking in the green room, in the conference room earlier, and people have been asking me, but it was life-changing. It was a life-changing experience. There were some highs and some lows, of course, but as you asked the ladies a question about the platform, our platform is holistic wellness, which is what, even when they asked me the question, it was a no-brainer for me to talk about the connection of the mind, body, and soul. And we talked about some of the struggles that we had, and for me, I mean, just to be honest with you, to be honest with the audience, I felt my best self there. I felt like all of the preparation, Bria knows the preparation that we went through, personal training, makeup, Jovan, this was my first pageant, so I had a steep learning curve. I'm humble enough to say that I didn't know it all, and so I reached out for help, and it really takes a village, and the BVI village stepped up, my family and friends, everyone. So all of it came to a head, if you will, and I did devotion from my book every single day to keep me grounded and to keep me focused throughout everything, all the trials. It's not easy. I'm probably in another interview, maybe we'll, go into the details behind the scene, but it's a lot that we have to go through. It's a lot, and so if anyone, I did a post a few days ago, we have beautiful, gorgeous, flawless pictures, but it's a lot. It's a lot behind the scenes, emotionally, spiritually, physically, because it's 12 to 14-hour days that we have that we're in practice, like practicing nonstop. So I'm happy. Yeah. I'm happy. It's 6, but to me, it's like 1.
Right.
It's like yes. And Dr. Tracy, who is the organizer and the founder of the Mrs. Globe Foundation, Kesnia from Mrs. Russia, she's the one who actually won. And we have a chat, and she's doing amazing things already around the world, and she'll actually be here in the BVI. So we'll have a chance to meet her in a few months. Yeah.
Awesome. So some people of the BVI might be a little bit confused as to your different titles and your platforms, okay? So we have Miss BVI, we have Mrs. So everybody's like, what's the difference? So I want people to understand what's the difference and how are you all interconnected as BVI queens?
Well, Miss World is a philanthropy project, so it's the title is Beauty with a Purpose. So it doesn't only focus on beautiful women, but if you see you have to come with a project.
Yes.
And all the projects that I was seeing that all these girls doing, it's amazing. They're actually heroes of their country. Miss Mongolia, I remember the most. She is a surgeon. And she performed a liver transplant, and it was the 84th. This is ridiculous. It's the 84th liver transplant in her country, and it was successful, and that was her beauty with a purpose. And these things that these women are doing in their countries is just so amazing, and I'm just so happy that Julia Morley has created this platform that allows us to be ambassadors for a country, and it just pushes beauty beyond. It's just not just about what you look like, it's about what you can do for your country.
Absolutely.
And I'm just so happy to be a part of Miss World because of that. I thank her every day.
Awesome.
Like,
Who's
thank
next?
you, thank you.
Well, Miss Universe is a beauty pageant.
Yes.
We do have
Clearly.
platforms.
Clearly.
Thank you. But no, it is a beauty pageant. It does focus on beauty and doing the evening and the swimwear and all those different things. We do not have talent. Is not something that the pageant focuses on. But what it focuses on is having a story to encourage or empower little girls.
Yes.
And that's the main purpose of Miss Universe. You have to be able to be marketable and sellable, to be able to gain the pull of little girls and inspiring little girls through a lot of different initiatives. It does not necessarily focus on one or two platforms, but a whole platform that ranges and focuses on the empowerment of women.
Nice.
So that is what Miss Universe is about. And though it is a beauty pageant,
Yes.
it really speaks to trying to empower young girls.
Absolutely. Chandra, your turn.
Sure. For Mrs. Globe, it's actually coined as the most prestigious pageant for misses in the world. So the distinction, of course, is with the Mrs. Globe pageant, you can have children and be married. With the other top pageants, you're not able to do that. So there are women who may have either been competed in maybe the Miss Universe or have been in the pageant scene before, but maybe or wanted to, but had children, and before there was no outlet for those women. So with the Mrs. Globe, we're able to do that. But there is the crux of the story. It's beyond a beauty pageant. It's really focusing on the empowerment of women. Dr. Tracy actually started Dr. Tracy Kimball started the WIN Foundation, and Mrs. Globe is a part of that to help abused women who have been in domestic violence situations. She's actually an author and does empowerment courses. So now, as a Globette, that's technically my title now.
Yes.
Being in the Mrs. Globe family, I'm going to continue to be an ambassador for Mrs. Globe, and of course for WIN BVI and our foundation here as well.
Awesome. So just to piggyback a bit, you mentioned the WIN Foundation, and I cannot let this interview go forward without also acknowledging Miss Alicia
Yes,
Green,
of course.
who also
Yes,
won
yes.
Director of the Year
She's
award.
Director of the
Awesome
Year.
stuff.
Yes.
Wow. Awesome.
So it's not only about us queens. I mean, we're here because of the women in the committees behind the scenes who are working for us and working to help out. So Alicia Green has been amazing and is well deserving. And so she has a lot more to share. She shared a little bit at the welcome back, but well deserved.
All right. So one of the things I wanted to get into is, I don't know, this word has been speaking to me recently. Representation.
Exactly.
Now, we are black women. We hail from the best part of the world, the Caribbean region. And we see not only within our region, but beyond, women, black women are really, really doing it. Yes. And it's so refreshing to me to be here in this time and to experience it, to see it. You speak about, it being all surreal to you, Chandra. Just recently I watched an interview with Miss South Africa, of course, who became Miss Universe, in an interview with Trevor Noah. And he's like, did it sink in? And she's like, boy, it has not. She's like, I was walking past someone and they were like, Miss Universe, Miss Universe. And she's like, oh,
It's me.
oh, that's me? Because it's such a surreal moment. And for her, that representation for her country, Bria, I know you as well from the beginning of the pageant. You were so adamant about pushing through with your natural coils and curls. But black women in general, just being who they are in their natural realm, expressing their individuality and just really living up to their power and owning it. What does that representation mean to all of you?
Well, as you stated before in my recent interviews, it means everything.
Yeah.
It means everything to be able to see, especially what Zosie said, see little girls that look. Now you can see someone that looks like you.
Familiar.
like that was very powerful.
Yeah.
When we sat backstage and we listened to her, it was something all the girls look around and said, yes, yes, that's what's so important, to be able to see yourself.
Yes, see it.
Representation matters in any platform, and little girls need to see, especially little black girls, they need to see themselves taking up space
Yes.
in
yes.
places, exactly,
Yes.
taking up space in places that they deserve to take up space in. You're no longer being told that you're not pretty anymore, because look, my Miss Universe
Right.
is
It's
beautiful.
beautiful.
Yes. She looks like me. She has my complexion. She has my hair.
And it makes them feel like they can too.
Exactly.
That's the most important thing. The black women at Miss World were so strong this year. I was so proud of each and especially the Caribbean women.
Yes.
Tarjane, TNT, she is Miss Caribbean World. Tony Ann Singh, Jamaica, she is Miss World. So I'm just very proud that the black people are showing up and taking up space in
Yes.
that way.
Oh my goodness.
I would just add to that, and I completely agree with my fellow queens here. And in addition, at least for the Mrs. Globe, I think it was important. I'm still trying to reflect on it, as you said. It's a little surreal, but it's also representation with married women and women with children. I remember for your pre-pageant for the promo show, that was actually one of the questions. Yes, that was one of the questions for the show. And I guess as far as
I do remember that. Yes.
Representation is also in, just because you have children or just because you are married doesn't mean that your dreams die. Children are not dream killers. Your spouse or your partner doesn't mean that you can't pursue your dream. And whether you're single, married, or whatever, like, I think for us, the representation is that you can work hard, you can, have focus, you can be grounded. All of us are grounded in God, but you can dream. And that's what I want people to understand. Like, from all of this, the BVI, we can dream again. We can collaborate with each other. We don't have to compete with each other, because look at the success when we just work together. We love on each other. Behind the scenes or in front of the camera, it doesn't matter. So dreams, seeing us, seeing our faces, seeing Zosie, seeing Mrs. World, you can dream and you can actually get there.
And
Listen.
seeing all of you guys. Listen,
all
just
of you guys.
by the answers, I am so inspired. Honestly, honestly, so inspired.
Yeah. All right, ladies, I'm wondering if we should go to a quick break. But before we even head to that, I know support in this process had to have been super crucial. You can't do it on your own. It's a lot, you know. Do you think as a territory, I mean, we were speaking about this behind the scenes, about, how, not just how prepared the girls are by the time they get there, but the committee behind them, the engines behind them, the countries, the support. What can we do better to assist not only you queens, but future queens?
I think this year we did a very good job. I didn't expect that much just support from the community at all on Twitter and Instagram. People I've never seen, known, heard of in my life were so supportive, and I think that they did a very good job, and I just think we continue to do that for all the queens. Just that support pushed me, because sometimes I honestly was just like, Damien, I was like, I am ready to come home. And then he was just like, keep pushing, and all the support I was getting, I just knew that we said it today. It's not about me. It's about the They don't even call you by your name there. They call you BVI.
Yeah,
Right.
you post a picture. You post a picture of your mic, and it didn't say Rakia. It said BVI.
Right.
Like, that's my name, and that's just an indication to you that this is not about me. It's not about what I feel. It's all about every time I step on stage, someone, if they don't know the BVI, they're gonna know it now.
You're going to learn
You're
today.
gonna know it now. And so that was just so empowering, and I was so grateful for the support that I was getting, because that was my motivation. I was like, they're supporting me, they're watching me, they're here for me, and I'll be here for them. So I think they're doing a wonderful job, and I just wish that they just continue to do that for all the other queens, because it's so important.
All right, you want to add to that, Bri?
Yeah, I'm just going to add and just say that what's the biggest difference is that person's were now knowledgeable of the difference in the pageants.
Yes.
And they were knowledgeable of what really goes on in a pageant. So what you have to do is just bring people along with you in the journey. And I think what really was important was that we were very visible. Very active and very visible. And I think that's something that needs to continue. We can't allow for persons to not be heavily involved in social media anymore.
Yes.
This is the time.
This is the age.
We can't tell persons, oh, it's social media, it's negative. No, it's how you use it. And we have to teach people how to use it and how it can benefit us on a large scale. So that's what we have to do, continue to be visible in every capacity.
Okay, so piggybacking off of Javon's question. So you guys have been away to these different pageants. How do you see this? Like, if our government, if our people invest more into our queens and our ambassadors, how do we see this having that return? Or what good do we see this having for our BVI?
For that, I think I was actually going to piggyback to that because I think that element is crucial.
Yes.
We all had the privilege of representing the BVI Tourist Board and the logo brand store. And I actually gave some gifts to all of the delegates of BVI apparel, BVI bags,
that's
BVI
amazing.
pins and everything. So I think it's so powerful because there are billions of people who are watching this. You know, if you combine all of the numbers. So even if 0.01% say, hey, I want to visit the BVI. I saw these ladies or I saw their sash. Let me bring my family of 5 to visit the BVI. That's a win for everyone. That's a win for everyone. So continuing in that stead and understanding that, hey, this is a business. It's a business for the pageants, but it can be an investment. As you all are investing in us, in the sash that we wear. We are promoting. We are the ambassadors. We are selling the sand, the seeds, everything. Every time we open our mouths, every time that we speak. And so people want the friends that we make. They want to visit the BVI, and they're influential as well.
It's so true because, like, we did an auction every year. Every girl has to bring something from their country, and I got a package, free flights to Anegada State.
That was amazing.
And we got the highest sold auction gift
Wow.
there, and because they were so excited to come to the British Virgin Islands.
Wow.
So those kind of things, just if they can see it, I always say perception's reality.
Yes.
If you don't know it's there if you don't see it.
Yeah.
So once you push yourself and be like, the BVI is a country, it's here. Then
It's
they
beautiful.
It's beautiful.
It has
You should
beautiful
come
ladies.
visit.
Yes.
It's beautiful ladies. Then that's when we were raising awareness
Right.
for the BVI, and that's helping our country.
Yeah, and I think
Alright.
that's what we have to realize. I think we're in a new age and we have to find new ways to push the BVI, and we have to realize that pageantry is one of them.
All right, so Bria, one of the most iconic moments of Miss Universe was probably when Nigeria's jaw dropped to the floor when Jamaica won, because she was
That was in World.
Miss
That
World,
was
Miss
in
World.
Yeah.
That was Miss
Yeah.
World, right? Indeed.
Yeah.
But I saw a picture with you surrounding the
By
queen.
Susie. Yeah.
Yes, and you were so excited for her. You know what I mean? As I don't know, maybe a representation that she's a black woman. Maybe you can tell us what that meant for you in that moment, and why we should, as opposed to competing with each other, collaborate more and just really be happy for another woman's success, understanding that whatever's a compliment to you is never of a detriment to me.
Exactly. I've always believed that if I'm a candle and I share my light and light another candle, it doesn't take away from my
Yes.
candle from burning. It doesn't. I've always believed in that. But the thing or the moment with Zosie was that Zosie and I actually had a few conversations prior to
We saw a
the
picture.
final
Yeah.
to the final event. But that moment was just so powerful because she really laid it out in all of her answers, in all of her statements. She put it on the floor. It wasn't a matter of holding back to see if she hurts anyone's feeling when it comes to race and when it comes to representation. She said what needed to be said. And that in of itself was powerful when we sat backstage and we listened to her. So then to see her win being honest
Yes.
and being herself was even more of a powerful moment. And when I ran to her and I went to her, I said, "Girl, you did it."
Yes.
And she said, "I did." And that was our mini conversation right there. And it goes to say when it comes to just race in general, but when one win, we all win.
Yes.
And it's not just race, but in women as well. When one woman wins, we all win.
Agreed.
And I think we have to kind of expand it on a whole, even when it comes to territory representation and just any sort of representation. We can't look at it as in isolation of, oh, that person win, that's on them. No. No, it's us.
Right.
We have to continue to work together to keep pushing whatever agenda we are trying to push. And if so, this agenda is to push to getting more Black women recognized, then we're all in it together. And that's what it was all about.
All right. So I have to ask before you guys go, what's next? I know some party is in there, some tarts, some Christmas food, some traveling, some whatever you want to do. But if you could give us just a little preview in what into what's next for each of you, what the BVI can expect going forward.
Well, I would like to continue to push my beauty with a purpose. I'm trying to accomplish that before I give my crown up to the other girl. But I am signed with a management in New York, so I have to leave. I have to leave to go back to New York and work on audition and have like pilots, Netflix series pilots are starting.
Girl, you're signed.
Listen.
Yes.
Listen.
So I have to go, but I still will be working on my project and hopefully see that to fruition. I see it happening, so I know that it will be accomplished.
Awesome.
So that's
Amazing
what I'll be working
things.
on.
For me, also, I'm going to push the holistic wellness platform, connection of mind, body, and soul. So now that all of the grueling days and nights and trying to integrate work and family with the pageant is over, my focus right now is on the book and really getting the power of 30, transforming the mind, body, and soul out there. Because when I've been here, and the little samples I've given to, people here, it really resonates with people. But I also gave samples when I was there in China to some of the ladies and shared some of the devotions and the power of the book. And they received it as well. So I'm feeling like now is the time, 2020 is the time, have to just get the book out. And so that's the next step. So look out for more on that.
All right.
I would like to say, during our interview before you left, we spoke about balance and integration, and I just want to say that has stuck with me. Like, I'm definitely like, okay, today I might not be able to balance both, but what can I do? What can I prioritize? And then tomorrow I'll prioritize something else. So I want to thank you for that.
One day at a time.
Yeah.
I love that. Brea?
Well, now that I'm back and I'm focusing only on just the British Virgin Islands, what I'm going to be doing is pushing forward my platform. We were already in conversations with the Department of Culture and with the government in trying to ensure that the Main Street historical tours come into fruition, and that's something that we're going to be continuing to do. A lot of different things I'm going to be doing. A lot of collaborations is one of my focuses. A lot of collaborations and collaborating with some of the past contestants from last year in some of their platforms and working with early integration in the contestants for 2020 Miss BVI.
Yes, so important.
So I've already spoke with the committee, and I will be joining the committee in ensuring that whatever we do, we start from early with the contestants and get them to understanding what's happening when you go off to Miss Universe. And not just focusing on the winner herself, but from all the contestants, because there's a takeaway that everyone can go with. It shouldn't just be about the one individual, but all women learning how they can be better.
Awesome stuff. We just want to thank you guys for dropping by and just having this conversation with us. Awesome.
Really awesome, and just a perfect embodiment of grit, perseverance, beauty, elegance, charm, charisma. All the great things. We are very proud of you. I don't know if you guys recognize it, but the BVI was really behind you. There was a sense of national pride. It's like a breath of fresh air that was blowing through the territory, and that was because we were really proud of the batch that the BVI was able to put forward this year. You guys served as true beauty ambassadors, and I think, I don't know, the government should give y'all some land. Somebody should give y'all a car. Something. Give them something. You know, I mean, because you guys were a true representation of BVI culture
Yeah,
in
and
British Virgin Islands.
Yeah, and we don't want people to think that at any point it was easy. Like you said, Rikia, you said that you had to do it for the people of. Sometimes this is a sacrifice, you know.
Yes, I was telling them before that I had to win so many different segments to get one interview.
Right.
Wow.
It's so hard because you just have to fight really, really hard to be seen and noticed, and so it's just exhausting.
It's exhausting,
but like you just have to know it's not for you.
Yes.
It's
Right.
for us.
So we
It's
want to
bigger
say
than me.
thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much. We really mean it. And viewers, we just want to remind you guys to continue to support them. The journey is not over. They will be running for another year. And again, you supporting them is you, supporting the British Virgin Islands. You guys are a representation of what is possible, and we thank you for that. Viewers, when you look at them, just know that you too can do it.
And
My
you
name
can
is...
dream.
Yes, absolutely. My name is Javon Wilson.
And I'm Kyla Forbes.
And this has been a 284 Queen Supreme 284 Media exclusive. Thank you so much for joining us.
Father Jesus, that line here long like church service.
Alright, do enjoy the rest of the day. Next customer line, please. Wait, hold on a second.
Yes, Sonny boy, come, yes, Sonny.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sonny boy. Hold on there. You must stop cut fun people.
It's okay, I'll take care of it.
What? No man, forget you.
How may I assist you? You want top of power?
You want top of power?
Join the prepaid party with CCT and enjoy more affordable data plans, more top-up promotions, more savings with hero bundles, and more value for your money each and every Tuesday with Top Up Turn Up Tuesday. Visit a CCT store today or anywhere CCT Top Up is sold and top up your phone.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You want top up power?